DOW. Dits on Wrestling.
Hello and welcome to the Dits on Wrestling podcast, specifically DOW Draft That. We're into episode 2 of DOW Draft That this week, following on from last week's episode with Anthony Talk Stuff, where we drafted the current crop of WWE superstars. And I would say right now I will gladly reveal the winner of that episode. It's already been revealed on Twitter anyway, but if you didn't catch it, Anthony won. It was a 70% to 30% victory. Sadness. Absolute sadness. I actually thought my last 2 picks in Mustache Mountain and Imperium were going to take me across the finish line and give me that victory, but sadly, you all didn't agree. Maybe my mid picks weren't up to scratch, but hell, it's all a lot of fun. I had such a good time with Anthony on Draft That, and the fun is set to continue because this week I am joined by Wilf of the Guyconics podcast, and of course, he's the Brainbuster Radio Podfather. So he'll be joining us in just a little while, just before I run through the rules of today's episode. So today the focus is on, and he won this as well. No, he didn't. This is something I've won before we even get into it. I put the poll out. I pick a subject. Wilf picked a subject. He went with WCW wrestlers. I went with the Attitude Era. And the Attitude Era was picked by you guys as the draft this week. So today we will be drafting the Attitude Era, and there's not that many rules this week in regards to who we can go to. It is simply 10 picks each. Anybody who wrestled for WWF at the time, whoever wrestled for them during that period is available to draft. Tag teams count as 1, however, factions and stables do not. That caught me out last week. Never again. So that's it. That really is the rules for this week. Nice and simple. There, of course, are some power-ups. Last week, I couldn't figure out what to call these things. I was like, are they called power-ups, lifelines, or whatever? I am coining them DOWerups. That's right. So DOWerups, DOWerups. I'm going to go with that. So you got 2 DOWerups. You got a steal and you've got a swap. If you want to steal, that is introduced in the 5th round of picks. So if I happen to see somebody that Wilf has drafted and I go, you know what? He looks good for my brand. I can bring out the steal DOWerup and take him into my brand. Oh, it's good. It's a good DOWerup, that one. And it's set to bring a few tears as well today because spoiler, it's already been revealed on Twitter, so I'm happy to reveal it now. But spoiler, somebody uses the Steel DOWerup this week, and it creates a little bit of sadness. But there you go, the DOWerup is in play and it has been used. The second DOWerup is a swap, which is it's a nicer DOWerup, to be honest, because once the 10 picks each are locked in, we can both agree on a swap deal. So I can go, you know what? I like the look of your guy, and I'm willing to sacrifice my guy, and they can agree or they can disagree. It has to be obviously agreed between both brands, but it doesn't have to be used. So the swap is an option. And of course, as this thing goes on, more DOWerups will be introduced because I think it's a fun element to the drafting cycle. But there you go. That's all you need to know, really, before we get into the episode. 10 picks each. 2 DOWerups in play. Tag teams count as 1. Stables, factions do not. And of course, there were a lot of factions and stables during the Attitude Era. So that would be unfair. It would be a top-heavy roster. But they're just the rules that you know. Today we are drafting the Attitude Era, and it is time to draft that.
Draft That.
Joining me today for Draft That of the Attitude Era is none other than Wilf from Brainbuster Radio. Welcome to the show, Wilf. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I feel like I'm cheating on Omega Luke. I'm speaking to somebody from Plymouth that is not my sexy co-host of the Guyconics, at Guyconics on Twitter, at Brainbuster Radio, at Wilfamura. I'm well. How are you?
I'm very, very well, and I'm happier because you've just said Guyconics on this show rather than unscripted.
Guyconics!
It's brought a smile to my face. I've just finished eating KFC. If that's not enough to make me happy, I don't know what is, but that has tipped me over the edge.
There's something about KFC in Plymouth. I just don't know. Like, there's a Luke can't shut up about KFC. Now you're bringing up KFC.
It's God's food. That's why.
Well, it's rubbish. Popeyes is the best chicken in the world, and that's just a fact.
I've heard so many people rave about this Popeyes, but we don't have it over here. Not as far as I'm aware, anyway. Like, so there was a whole sandwich epidemic thing going on like 3 weeks ago or something. Everyone's raving about it. I don't know what it was, but it sounded tremendous.
Well, the chicken is fantastic. I don't know about the sandwich, but the chicken is fantastic. And immediately, I am talking about food. So, thank you.
That's how these things should go. Always start with food. And it's a distraction, hopefully. Hopefully I've distracted you, because I've eaten. I'm happy,
not at all.
I'm fulfilled.
Oh, not a distraction. You have no idea what's about to hit you.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried. I'm not going to lie. The mind games have set in already. Your constant battering of my potential win from this draft on Twitter has, made me cower a little bit. But there you go. I will try my best. I lost the first episode, which made me sad because I thought I did really well. But hey, what are you going to do?
Hey, it's up to the fans.
It is up to the listeners. It is.
Yeah.
Even though they were wrong, it is up to them.
Ooh.
Heel turn. So, right, last week I didn't have a physical coin to decide who the number one pick is, and funny old thing, I don't have a physical coin again, so we're going to have to rely on Mrs. Google Flip Coin app type thing.
Hey, you know what? Look, right here on your lovely program, and hey, just real quick, awesome job. You got interviews now. You've got collaborations. Awesome show, dude. Absolutely killing it.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
But I'm going to give you the first pick. That's how confident of a brash Texan American I am. I'm going to give you the first pick. You could have it.
Oh, no, see, now you got me worried. Even more so. Who gives away the first pick? Who does that?
Hey, I want you to have the first pick. I am confident with my choices.
I think I'm literally just here to have a good time. Like I'm the guy on the bench that's just like, "Hi guys." That's me. I don't
entered a world of pain.
Well, okay then. I'll take the first pick off your hands. I don't mind, because it depends how you go with this, because the first two picks between both of us, in my head, are obvious, but you're going to probably shock me, no doubt. So before we get into it, brand names, just a little bit of fun, a little something to add on to this before we get started. I've gone with Your Attitude Stinks. That's my brand name. Absolutely terrible. What have you gone with?
Okay, I'm just writing this down. Okay. Mine is BBW. And that's not Big Beautiful Women. I know that's what some people are giggling. I know Mags is giggling at this point. But it stands for it stands for
Mags.
Hey, oh.
There it is.
It's Big Beefy Wrestlers.
I like that.
Big Beefy Wrestlers.
Is that a clue?
Is it a clue? Ooh. Is it a diversion? Nobody knows what I'm doing. Nobody ever knows what I'm doing. And the entire Brainbuster team can attest to that.
Well, you have me intrigued. Color me intrigued. Right, so round one. Let's get into this. So it's going to be an obvious one for a lot of people listening to this. But as a kid, this guy could literally do no wrong in my eyes. Like, he was the thing that brought me into wrestling. Like, I was aware of it as a kid when I was watching Hulk Hogan tapes as a 5-year-old. I now regret that as an adult. But then this guy brought me back into wrestling again because he's charismatic, he's electrifying, he was just awesome. There was nothing that guy could do that I would go, Then again, I was watching it through the eyes of a kid, so either way, he could have put on the worst match in the world and I wouldn't have even known. But even now, looking back, I have nothing but love for the guy. So my first pick is The Rock.
God damn it.
Boom.
You've soiled. I should have gone with the coin flip. I should have gone. That's okay. I have backup options. It's a good choice.
So that's another thing me and Omega Luke have in common, because he also stands The Rock. So there you go. Must be a Plymouth thing as well.
Up the Algo.
No, never.
Okay, so you have gone with The Rock.
I have.
To kick off, and I am going to stick with my pick, but I'm going to have to change a couple of the participants because you said no stable.
Yes.
You said no stable, but I'll tell you what, I got something up my sleeve here. I am going to go with a tag team, and if you know what, I'm going to put this out there. Test the water right away. It's a tag team within Nation of Domination, and that is Owen Hart and Farouk / Ron Simmons.
I'll give you that.
Boom. Owen Hart, an absolute legend, one of the best workers, one of the best attitudes, and Ron Simmons, an absolute icon. Game over. Game over.
And you got 2 for the price of 1 as well, so there is that.
Absolutely. Yes, 2 for 1.
And Nation as well. I love Nation of Domination as a kid. I didn't understand the undertones of it as a 9-year-old child. However, I dug it.
They were just so cool looking. I mean, that's the thing. Like, as a kid, you just like, oh my God, they're a cool group. They're mean, they're tough. They're not messing around. And I was a huge fan. And I was going to go with The Rock and Ron Simmons, Rock and Farouk. But you took that. I should have seen that coming. But that's okay. Owen Hart was in the group, which some people forget. And this is a sneaky way to get Owen Hart in right away. So,
and speaking of sneaky, this one is going to be... This one's going to rock you, this one, I think. Despite the fact what we said before we started recording. But that's by the by. This one came into my head literally about 5 minutes ago. So we can use tag teams, of course we can. They count as one. So it only makes sense that I take, despite the fact I'm not that keen on one of these guys, it still looks good on paper to have him as part of this team. So not only do I have perhaps one of the greatest wrestlers of all time in this tag team, I also have Triple H as well. So I've gone with the 2-man power trip, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H.
Well, see, you're going with the top-heavy roster so far. And Stone Cold and Triple H, I think you've got too many cooks in the kitchen there. But, that's you. That's your choice. And I'm going to go with, well, I think it's a good choice if you look at it on the surface. But when you get them in the locker room, how are you going to have all these guys coexisting? So, anyways, that's fine. I'm going to go with somebody who I am a man of the people. I have a roster who is going to appeal to every type of person, color, race, gender, whatever. Every normal person. And you can't get more normal and down to earth than Mick Foley. Mick Foley, you have in this person, you get 3 people, essentially. You've got 3 different personas within Mick Foley. And Mick Foley is absolutely pick number 2 for me. Going for the everyman roster here, Mick Foley.
That one's made me sad because I will reveal I had him pretty high up. Because like you said, he's not just Mick Foley, he's Mankind, he's Dude Love, he's Cactus Jack. So you get a wide variety of characters there. So
yeah, 3 for 1. 2 for 1, I got 3 for 1. There you go.
That's a good pick. And I can't even argue that it's a stable either. That's a sad thing.
No, sir.
Ooh, right, okay, right.
Yeah. Ha!
See, now here comes the tactical side of things, because...
You see, that's the thing. I started tactical. I started with the mind games.
Ooh, who do I go
with here?
I'm going to shock you with this, actually. I don't think you're going to expect it. Doink. No, but it is somebody equally as bizarre, you could say. I love this guy. Like, I as a kid, and I will continuously refer to me being as a kid, because that's what I was when I watched the Attitude Era. I was 9.
I already know where you're going with it. Damn.
Yeah. I shouldn't have liked him. I really shouldn't have liked him. And if my parents caught me watching any of his stuff, I don't think I'd be watching wrestling today. At least I wouldn't be as big a fan as I am now, just because of the way he was. And of course, you've figured it out. I'm going with Goldust as my number 3 pick. And I didn't actually have him in my top 10 originally, but you made a point. It is a top-heavy roster. And, to be honest, I do love me a little bit of Goldust. So I can't look past him. Cannot look past him.
That's tough, because I wanted him to go high. I had him up there. But that's okay. That's fine, because I am bringing in somebody who can fight absolutely anybody. Who has? I'm just not even gonna give this person a rundown. It's China.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
China, number 3. You've got the craziness with China versus Mick Foley so far. You've got China and Owen Hart possibly. I mean, you've got so many interesting dynamics right there. And I'm going for a very level roster. No mega superstars on my team. Going for a very even leveled, side so far. So China, number 3. Boom.
That's a good one. I like that. And it's good to see a woman come out early as well.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Okay, well, see, I had my top 10 set in stone, and it's all just kind of gone all over the place.
You have to adapt or perish, my friend.
So, in the spirit of adapting and perishing, I've changed my number 4 pick, and I'm going to go with another tag team, because ultimately, I get a very, very good tag team, but I also get 2 great single stars as well, should they split up, which of course they did end up doing in the end. These guys are hilarious. They're a good, fun act to watch. They're entertaining, but between the ropes, they can go. They can do exactly what is needed. And they played being the smarmy heels very, very well. And, for those with the benefits of flash photography, it's Edge and Christian. They are my number 4.
Edge and Christian. That's a good one. That's thinking ahead. They were young at the time. You're doubling up. You're quaking in your boots because you're stockpiling at this point. And I'm gonna go with I do need a heavyweight champion on my roster. Let's face it, I got a lot of intercontinental European champions on my team, tag team champions. I've got a Slammy Award winner. But I don't have a heavyweight champion yet. And that's where I think there's only one person. And you're probably saying, please don't pick him. Please don't pick him. And I am picking The Undertaker.
That is exactly the one I didn't want you to pick. And I can't even fucking steal him. Bastard. I'm not going to lie. He was my next pick. So you've got me.
Sucker.
Bastard. Oh, I love The Undertaker, especially Ministry Taker. I don't know what it was about him, but the music, the look, just the crazy ass storylines. He had it all for me. And looking back now, and I see it, I do miss that Undertaker. And hell, you had the Biker Taker a little bit in the Attitude Era, so you got that to look forward to as well.
Absolutely, man. I mean, He is the company guy. He is my heavyweight champion easily, and he can go in hardcore matches. He can go in any type of match, in any spots. He'll open the show if he needs to. He'll do everything you need to. He is my champ.
Oh, right. Let me write him down. Oh, we're already into round 5, and you know what that means. It's time for the DOWerup, as I've now coined it. It's terrible, but I like the fact that it's terrible.
No, it's good.
The
I
DOWerup.
like it.
The Steel is now in play, but before we hit the first Steel round, I'll just reel off my 4 so far. So at number 1 pick is The Rock, followed by the 2-man power trip, Stone Cold and Triple H. Number 3, Goldust, and 4, Edge and Christian. Who are your 4 so far?
I went with number 1, Nation of Domination, Owen Hart and Farouk. Second, Mick Foley, of course, Dude Love, Cactus Jack, everybody. China, number 3. Number 4, Undertaker.
I'd say both are looking pretty good.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt who's winning. I mean, come on.
See, now I'm regretting my 4th. I didn't actually realize we were about to hit round 5. It just completely, I blanked on it. So now I'm regretting it because I have a feeling I don't know, you might steal.
Literally, this is your show, buddy. And I mean, I have come into 70s NWA. I am coming in from New York, the hot shot, and I just squashed you. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. I mean,
we'll see. It's still 5 picks. Right, here we go. 5th pick. Are you going to steal him? That's the question. Oh, see, I could lure you in. You could steal this person, but I have somebody better.
Look, my list is so deep. I don't even think I need to steal your people. Well, but we'll see. We'll see. I've got the hashtag DOWerup in my back pocket if I need to use it. So.
All right. Okay. All right. So this guy is actually he's on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
Wow.
So
impressive.
It was great. It was one of those guys that was just like always just destined to be really good at this. And then as he progressed, not just through the Attitude Era, but through the Ruthless Aggression Era as well, and then once he left WWE, he just maintained that high level of, talent. Like, he always had it, and he just grew and grew. And then when he grew into it, my God, you'd find it really hard to find somebody who could match his level. It would be a hard task. Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. Number 5 pick.
Ooh, that's a great pick, man. I did not have him on my list, actually. Holy mackerel. That's a good one.
All right, so I'm a fan of the Kurt Angle pick.
That's a big pick. I'm very impressed with that pick. That's a good decision, man. Absolutely good. Okay, well, man, I've got so many. Like, which way could I go? Oh, man. Okay. We have heavyweight champion. We've got China. We've got Mick Foley, who could be anybody. We've got Owen Hart and Farouk. I mean, goddamn. I'm feeling brave. I think you're going to miss this person, so I'm going to hang on to that person for my next pick. So pick 5. Let's see. All right, let's go with it. We're going to go with the Dudley Boys.
Nice.
Pick 5, Dudley Boys. I'm going to get in there. I got a feeling you might have had them. I'm going to put them in there. Dudley Boys are in there. They came over during the crazy Attitude Era from ECW. They're easily one of the best tag teams in the world. And I think they can both go individually if need be. So Dudley Boys, boom.
So I was torn between Edge and Christian and the Dudleys. But I think the only thing that tipped me towards ENC was the fact that when they branch off and become single stars, I think they're more credible than Bubba and Devon. However, the Dudleys as a team, I say you could argue it. Let's be honest. I would say they are the better team of the two. It's just I'm long-term booking. That's what I'm doing.
Oh.
But no, the Dudleys were definitely in. I think I actually sat and looked at my phone whilst I was making the notes for about 2 minutes, just like, which one? Like, which one do I go with? And I just settled for E&C, just because they made me laugh more. Even though I did enjoy the Dudleys, or Bubba specifically putting Mae Young through at a table. But...
No, it's an outstanding pick. Outstanding pick.
Oh, right, let me write that down. Dudley Boys. That's good. That's good.
Why is that?
Is it Dudley Boys with a Z? They had a thing with Z's back then, didn't they? Everything
yes,
had a
of course.
fucking Z. There you go.
Absolutely.
Oh, God. Number 6, right. Round 6. Here we go. Oh, right. You've already had him, so I need to cross him off my list. That's...
I mean, there are some serious heavyweights still out there.
So, part of me wants to go and get somebody who, would be obvious, but another part of me wants to kind of shake it up and go with somebody a bit of left field. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Long-term booking and all that. I'm going with Eddie Guerrero, 6th pick.
That's a solid one, man. That's solid.
I mean, when you look at his stuff in WCW, his brief time in ECW, he had a strong back catalogue of matches. Coming into WWF at the time, I think it took him a little while to find his feet, but as soon as he did, Latino he was with China, so we've split them up. Ooh, that was an opportunity, actually. You could have got Eddie and China together, potentially.
You're grabbing Eddie Guerrero when he was just getting into WWF. I mean, you're just scraping him in there within that time frame, because he was in WCW through 2000. So you're grabbing him at the very end. So I think that's a smart pick for the future. He didn't really burst until the mid 2000s. So I mean, I think that's a smart pick. A young, Rashford pick, young teenage pick. So that's a good choice. But there's a big obvious one that I'm actually gonna give you, because I think you need help with your roster right now. And people are gonna look at this, who might not have heard the show, and absolute jerks who haven't listened, and they're gonna look on the list and say, Rock, Stone Cold, that's fine. But when you look at the depth of my team, I think you're going to see the difference in this. All right. So with all that pomp and circumstance, I'm going to go ahead and grab the obvious person, because I think if I don't, I'll be a real fool. And what better feud to have in your roster than Undertaker versus Kane?
That's not who I thought you were going to go with, then, to be honest. But,
really?
I cannot reveal who I thought it was, but
absolute Hall of Famer, just a legendary performer. He's absolutely done it all: tag teams, hardcore, heavyweight champion. He's an evergreen presence. Kane and Undertaker. That's my headlining feud when I go on tour. There you go.
See, I did have him in my top 10, but I don't know. For some reason, I didn't think you were going to pick him, so I thought I had him. But then you've got the Undertaker, so it would have actually been smart to take Kane away from the Undertaker. That's the problem. But now you have both, so you have that future Brothers of Destruction tag team under your belt. Hell, that could have been one pick and a go. So we haven't really thought outside the box with these. That's a missed opportunity. That could have been one pick, and then you could have saved yourself for an even deeper roster. But
that's
true. You do have a very, very good feud on your hands, whereas mine are more future based. Apart from maybe your Rocks, Stone Colds, and Triple H's, everything else is
literally
anchored in the future. But hell, long-term booking, I'm sticking by it. Number 7, round 7. Oh, right, this is where it gets difficult.
Dude, you have a very top-heavy roster. I mean, some of these guys are going to get pissed off and go to WCW, I think. I don't know.
Oh. Right. Scratch that. You're moving down. You're moving down. You can move there. And we're going to slam this. It wasn't in the top 10 before, but you've made the top 10.
Listen as Ditz is scratching and clawing. Eraser is flying. Pins are just going everywhere.
My sheet is on fire. Right. Number 7. Here we go. Right. This is a guy who is underrated as hell. Doesn't matter what period of time he wrestled in. He's been underrated from day one up until the day he retired. He's a fellow Brit, so I do feel a little bit of bias towards him, but it is merited bias because he is fantastic. He's technically sound, he's a brawler, he's got it all. He's got the character laid down as well, and everybody loves a good British snob. So I'm going with William Regal as my 7th pick.
That's a great pick, honestly, because you've got Regal in there who may not be champion, and he'll lose quite a bit, but he's going to get the absolute most out of your top guys. So that's a pretty good pick, buddy. I like that one a lot.
Last minute as well. I do like a last minute pick.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, I mean, my list... I had. We'll talk about it after. I got some real crazy long shots out here, but I'm gonna stick with. Okay, we're gonna take it. We're gonna go off the path here. Somebody you haven't thought of, and look, man, I'm a little older. We lived through Attitude Era at different ages. You were a lot younger. I was a teenager. So. I'm going to bolster my tag division a little bit because we've got Owen Hart and Farouk who can still tag team. We've got Dudley Boys. I don't want to use Undertaker and Kane if I don't need to, but I need a good tag team. And what better team? Yeah, you're quaking.
I can kind of see where this is going. But
I don't think you are. I don't think you can read me on my poker face. It is and they came over just for a short period of time in 99 2000 and they are Legion of Doom.
Oh, now I wasn't thinking of that.
Easily one of the best tag teams in the history of pro wrestling.
Did they still have it in 2000 though?
Yes. Legion of Doom came over for a short period of time. I believe Sonny was even part of the LOD 2000 time.
Really?
They weren't massively successful, but look at the history that they have. Animal and Hawk, Road Warriors. I mean, I think that's a pretty solid pick.
Oh, that is good. I wouldn't have thought of that. Would not have thought of that either. You would have had me thinking about Heidenreich when he was part of it, but that's more my era.
Yeah, they came over in 97 through 99. They weren't hugely successful. I do see that Sonny was the manager for a short period of time. They did bring in Droz, who was known as Puke for a short period of time. That didn't really work out, obviously. But yeah, Legion of Doom. I mean, you can't go wrong. One of the best tag teams in the world.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. See, I thought you were going to go with somebody else then, who you might think I wouldn't have thought of, which has me tempted to pick them myself.
And I could read your face. I know exactly who you're talking about, and without spoiling it, I'm going to type it into our Skype.
Oh, yeah. Let's have a look.
You can have them.
You are incorrect, sir.
Oh!
Oh, yes.
Oh!
You are incorrect. And
okay.
I will reveal as such for round 8 of the picks. I'm going with the New Age Outlaws.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Big.
So you need some jobbers in your squad, apparently.
I like me some New Age Outlaws, not gonna lie. I'll take them. I'm proud to take them. I'll take them off your hands.
I thought you were going in the other direction. I'll just say it. I'm not afraid to say it because they're not on my list. I don't rate them as highly. I thought you were going to go with the Hardy Boys. I
did think of the Hardys, but...
Thought you were going that way. And I'm totally... Okay, anyway, so we've got tag teams. This is what? 8th pick, I think I have.
Yes.
All right, so now let's get back to some singles. Now that I've got my tag division fully underway. And we're going to go with... Let me just mark off a couple of people. We need somebody who's going to eat some pins. And this is gonna be out of left field, but it's somebody who is just evergreen. I'm going for endurance, some people who can stick around for a long time and can go on the circuit, fight 300 nights out of the year. And here is my pin eater, and it's Jerry Lawler.
Oh,
yeah. Every night,
that's out of left field. Jesus,
he's gonna go out there every night. He's going to go up against Kane, Mick Foley, Chyna, and he is going to rile up the crowd and eat those pins and work the mic on all those small shows and on the big shows too. So Jerry Lawler is my pin eater.
Oh, that's an interesting pick. That's something, that's 2 in a row now that you've gone for someone that I would never even have thought of. So
on the graphic, I want you to write... pin eater. He is the one who eats the pins. The perennial loser.
Lawler. Eater of pins. There we go.
Yes. Thank you.
Eater of pins. There we go. There you go.
That's
locked in.
I mean, that's an NXT name right there. The Eater of Pins. There you go.
There we go. Happy. Right. Oh, Christ. Here we go. See, now I'm thinking in my head there's still a steel to be used. Now, if I use a steel...
Look, if you want to take my Jerry Lawler, you can.
I'm not taking... You can have Jerry. You can have him. Puppies! You've got him.
Everybody's going to hate him. That's the beauty in this. He's going to go over for everybody. Everybody's going to pin him. Everybody's going to hate him. You need somebody to hate on your roster.
See, I have my 9th pick, but I have a blank...
You've got all baby.
I've got
all baby faces.
10. I have a blank number 10. So I'm thinking if I steal whoever your next one is, that is my 10th pick gone because I'll be nicking whoever you're going for. So I have to make this one count just in case your 9th is good.
Of course it's good, ditz. Of course it's good.
Who do I go with? This is tough. I'm torn between 2. I am really torn between 2.
I mean, I could make a roster of 20 and I'd still win. Like, I got so many names at my disposal.
Right. No, screw it. I'm going for it. Perhaps the biggest debut of all time. Easily. And a ready-made feud already with somebody else I've got in my draft picks. One for the future as well. Still going strong to this day. Chris Jericho, number 9.
Well, you know what? I think it's time to use the hashtag DOWerup.
Whoa! Yeah,
I am going to go ahead and take that legendary AEW heavyweight champion from you right now. And your number 9 is now blank. I have stolen Chris Jericho from you, baby.
Oh, I actually thought we were going to make it through 2 fucking episodes without a steal, you absolute dick.
You cannot put Chris Jericho outside of your top 5 and not expect me to steal the best in the world at what he does. Chris Jericho's on my roster. Welcome aboard.
Right, so that's your 9th pick sorted out, you absolute dick. So I need to replace him.
What a mistake.
However, I did have somebody as a backup for my number 9. It might be seen as controversial, given, what happens in the future. But I'm going to go with it regardless, because I'm a grown-up. I can see past all that shite. I can focus on the wrestler himself. I'm going with Chris Benoit as my number 9 pick. And I've probably just upset a lot of people.
That is...
I'm going for it.
That's a powerful pick, man. That is... yeah. That's wrestling-wise, there's absolutely no doubt that he's one of the best pro wrestlers that ever graced the 20x20 ring. So wrestling-wise, we're having a little fun here. Great choice. I think that's a good choice.
However,
but
when it's revealed, well, when this episode goes out and the graphic goes out for our final picks, I don't think people are going to see it that way.
I am going to make some really bad memes about that. I'm going to put red arrows and circles.
I will have about 5,000 followers by the end of that.
I'm going to distract everybody from your Rock pick and focus all the attention New Age Outlaws and Benoit. Okay, so controversially, I have stolen your Jericho pick on the hashtag DOWerup, the first to be used on hashtag DOW Draft This. So now we're on to our final picks. Am I wrong?
No, you're all right. You've already locked in your number 9, and this also means I don't get to steal. Sadness. Absolute sadness. Because, yeah, you pick after me, so what can I do? What can a boy do? Christ almighty, here we go. Who are we going to pick now?
I honestly, let's just be real. I totally forgot about Chris Jericho, and you literally just handed him to me.
Question.
I can't believe I forgot.
Would you have stolen Benoit?
I don't think I would have.
Damn it. I was trying to feel better about if I put Jericho on 10.
Honestly, you said Jericho, and I totally forgot him. And like the greedy capitalist American I am, I had to just go take him away.
So I've gone through 2 episodes of Draft That, and I haven't used the DOWerup that I created. That is...
You created?
I created it. It's my creation.
Oh, my God.
Oh, right. Okay. This is... I have a lot of names left, but obviously just 1 slot remaining, which makes this really fucking hard. And to be honest, I actually have 2 in this list who I haven't used yet, who would actually usually be pretty high, but I can't remember what time period I gave. I think it was like November 97 to May 2002, I believe.
Yes.
I went for. And I'm not sure if either of these 2 guys fit into that.
Well, look, let's ask the DOW research team, hashtag DITS research team, and you put it in the Skype, put the name in. Let's do a research real quick. I'm giving you live. To be fair, you can't steal it. It's the last pick. Fuck it. Right. No, I can't steal it. I have a wealth of amazing. How could now that you've put that name out there, I bet you Omega Luke is absolutely shitting the bed right now, thinking, I can't believe these guys haven't picked this guy. Oh, okay. Wow. Well, see, this is the thing. I'm getting word back from the DITS research team saying that he did return. He was, so 97 through 98, retired in 98, and then returned in 2002. So I would say you could have him, dude. I mean, that's... Yes. I gotta be fair. I mean, I'm
somebody right now who's not going to lose their smile. My number 10 pick, Shawn Michaels. I'm happy with that.
How have we not picked Shawn Michaels? How? How did that happen?
I had him in my top. He was actually my number... God, I've changed this thing around so much now. I've scribbled like loads of stuff. It was my number 4, but... it was the time period and I couldn't be asked researching it, so I was like, maybe in his head, he'll be thinking the same, that maybe he just missed out on the Attitude Era. But then when I'm thinking, like, Shawn Michaels is a huge part of the Attitude Era, so of course he was fucking in it. But I'm happy with that. That's 2 weeks in a row where I've dropped a bomb for my 10th pick. Last week I dropped Imperium, and this week I'm dropping Shawn Michaels. So I'm very happy.
Look, I've got a very workman's crew. I've got depth. I've got a hierarchy. And you've got a lot of big names. I'm just saying that might be your weak points. I don't know if people are going to recognize that, but I'm telling you. You got a lot of big names, very flashy, but yeah. So let's, without any delay, I don't have anything. I don't have a bombshell here. I'm sorry. I don't have a bombshell.
Is it going to end on an anticlimax here?
Absolutely. But you know what? Look, this is my whole ethos with this roster, and here's the big plan behind this: is that, you know what? Vince is a prick. I'm not a big fan of Vince the person. And I think that I wanted to give my roster, and thank you for letting me have this opportunity to hang out with you. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. I wanted to give my roster some respect, some diversity, some variety. Different styles, different types of people, everybody is different and everybody is wonderful, which is why I've gone for a very anti-flashy Vince McMahon sexy boy roster. I have gone for a wrestler's roster. So without further ado, I am going to go with my last pick, and I will be up at night if I don't pick this man because he's just one of the best. Mark Henry.
Oh,
it's another left field one. I get it. But I want Mark Henry in my field. He's the big heavyweight guy. He's going to be a challenge for the smaller guys. I think I have a good diversity, a hierarchy of the big names, mid card, low card. And Mark Henry has got to be in my top 10. He's just one of the best.
That's a good pick. And it marries up to your first pick as well.
And you could, you could interact Mark Henry coming into Nation of Domination. You can put Mark Henry in the heavyweight title picture as one of the scary big defenders, one of the big super heavyweights that Undertaker has to go up against, that Kane has to go up against. A lot of diversity, a lot of different types of pro wrestlers. And then you've got the wild card with China in the team as well. So I love it. I love my roster. Lots of fun. I'm
not going to lie. I don't. A little part of me there thought you were actually going to pick Vince McMahon. I don't know what it was. Just I was hanging on your every word, and Vince was dropped in there every now and then. He's going to say fucking Vince here.
I gave it a thought when you gave me the invite. I gave it a thought. But fuck Vince. Honestly, I just he's a shit person. So that's where that's going to go.
Whoa, see, he's now making me think I could have gone for Vince. He's like the ultimate heel. I couldn't get a bigger heel than Vince, but fuck it. I'm like you, I am very happy with my roster, which I will reveal in its entirety now. Of course, obviously, we revealed it as we've gone along, but here it is. So, number 1, I went with The Rock. Number 2, the two-man power trip consisting of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. Number 3, Goldust. Number 4, Edge and Christian. Number 5, Kurt Angle. 6, Eddie Guerrero. 7, William Regal. 8, the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. 9, Chris Benoit. Please don't hate me. And number 10, HBK, Shawn Michaels.
The Shawn Michaels one might get you over the top there. I think that's really the ace card. I'm loving the William Regal pick. Loving the youth with Angle and Guerrero. That's an outstanding roster you got there, buddy.
See, I'm actually going to make this a thing as well, where every single week my 10th pick is absolutely phenomenal.
That's
what I'm going to go with.
If it's still there. If somebody doesn't steal it, you got to be careful, man. Because that hashtag.
Plenty in the back pocket. Plenty in the back pocket.
Let me ask you something. Let me throw something out your way. Would you, and I have to ask or else I'd be crazy to ask, would you give me the Heartbreak Kid for Jericho to have back?
Whoa.
Yeah, I just did that.
So not only do you steal him, you're now tempting him back.
How American of me. Oh, I love it.
Oh.
I'm just putting the offer out there. Nobody's agreed yet. I haven't even agreed. I'm just putting the offer on the table and just seeing what kind of reaction you get.
I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit interested. More so because Jericho, I think, gave a lot more during the Attitude Era, more so than Shawn. But Shawn is Shawn.
I haven't agreed yet. I'm just gauging interest. I've just brought the car to the used car park and just seeing if anybody's coming out yet. That's all.
There is interest, but no. No.
And you know what? I was actually going to say no anyways.
So let me get this straight. You stole Chris Jericho.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
You tempted him back to me with a swap. But then if I said, oh yeah, absolutely, you can have HBK, I'll have my original pick back, Chris Jericho, you would have gone, nah, mate. Sorry. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
I am an absolute dickhead. And you can clip that video audio. Go for it. Yeah, I probably would have done that, actually. Look, man, you have a fantastic roster. It's fantastic. So let's run through mine real quick. Number one is a tag team, Nation of Domination, with an unlikely pairing of Owen Hart and Farouk. Second, Mick Foley. Third, Chyna. 4, Undertaker. 5, the Dudley Boys. 6, Kane. 7 is Legion of Doom. 8 is Jerry Lawler, the Pin Eater, because fuck Jerry Lawler. 9 was the hashtag DOWerup Steel, Chris Jericho. And 10th is Mark Henry, Sexual Chocolate.
That is a really good roster, actually. Even when if some people look at this on paper when they either listen to it or they just wait for the graphic to come up because they can't be asked to listen to it, which they should because this is fun. I think people might look at it and go Lawler and kind of go, But they need to listen. This is the thing. They need to listen to this for your reasoning behind that pick. That's the key thing. So that is why in brackets I will put Eater of Pins so they can kind of see where you're going with it.
You know what?
Better do you a little bit of a disservice.
You can put in parentheses put jobber. He is my jobber. That way, it's obvious to everybody. Jerry Lawler is my jobber. That's better wording.
See, I'm looking at it. I'm just trying to think if I want a swap before we lock these in. There are. I mean, of course there are. I would happily take any of your 10. To be fair, but it's just who
I'm not. I think I'm closed for business. I'm actually really satisfied with, and I know I may lose the vote, but I know that I've won.
It'll take a moral victory.
Oh,
to be fair, I think Benoit actually might push the scale in your favor. To be fair, people will go, "Oh, he's gone for Lawler. Why has he done that? Eater of Pins," and then they'll go and look at Chris Benoit like eater of like people. So they might kind of shy away from that.
Oh, Lord Jesus! I'm good. I'm good with my roster. I'm not going to give anybody up at this point. I have already taken your Jericho, which is depressing enough for you. So I don't want to. That's we're good.
There we go. I'm gonna boom locked.
Locked in.
Oh, I'm happy with that. There's 2 really good rosters.
These are 2 fantastic rosters. Imagine your show being Raw, mine being SmackDown. I mean, everybody would be tuning in to both shows, hands down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, star power. That's what this is. Star power, left, right, and center. Oh, well. As was the case last week, the poll will be up. So as you're listening to this, if you're listening to it when it comes out today on Monday, the poll will be available on my promoted tweet on the old Twitter. So head over there once you've listened to this. Vote for your favorite brand between Your Attitude Stinks, which is mine, and BBW, which is Wilf's. So, do you want me to abbreviate that, or do you want me to extend that out so it's not BBW? It's what was it? Big Beefy Wrestlers? Was that the one?
Yes, Big Beefy Wrestlers. I want the BBW, and then I want spelled out as well, please.
Of course, I can do that for you.
Thank you.
I think that's what people want. That's what the listeners want. But you can. They want big beefy men. And China. You got China as well. So
she's a big beefy wrestler.
She is.
These are big beefy wrestlers, regardless of gender.
So it's like you've actually thought this through with your name.
You know what? You never know what to expect with the Wilf. You never know, buddy.
So you can go on, get yourself on Twitter, put the vote in, and yeah, you've got about 3 days to vote. Of course, if you're listening to this like way past in the future, then well, you've missed out. But the graphic will be up there somewhere that you can have a look and just see who won, or listen to episode 3 when that comes out and find out who wins there. But there we go, mate. That is the Attitude Era drafted.
Amazing bit of fun. I'm extremely grateful for your invites. I haven't done any drafts in a while, so I was very eager to do this episode with you today. So thank you very much for letting me on your show, buddy.
Well, I know that you haven't done many guest spots recently either, so I'm very grateful that you decided that this was the one that you were going to come out of hiding on.
Look, man, my fee has gone up with Brainbuster Radio having some minor success. I had to up my fee, so thanks for paying. Thanks.
I mean, to be fair, like I can't let you go without giving you a massive congratulations when it comes to the Brainbuster Radio side of things, because you guys started when I started, essentially, and I've seen you from the very beginning up to where you are now, and like it is leaps and bounds like what you guys have achieved in such a short time. It's a credit to everybody within Brainbuster Radio, of course it is, but obviously none of that happens without yourself. So a big congratulations to the point where you are right now, and I can guarantee that success is only going to continue to grow at a fast pace.
Well, thank you very much, man. I'm enjoying at Dits on Wrestling with the hashtag DOW Power Rankings, which is lots of fun. I'm enjoying hashtag DOW Draft That. And I'm enjoying what you are doing. And I will be home soon, Luke. I'm sorry. But thank you. That's very kind of you to say. We're two people doing the same thing, man. We're just talking about wrestling because we love it, and that's all it is, man. We're just trying to share our passion of pro wrestling, whatever brand it is, whatever company it is, with people who are like-minded with us and want to share that passion with us, man. So we're all doing it. We're all on the same goal. We're all on the same team. So thank you for that acknowledgement. It's very humbling, and we're very thankful for your support. And we're happy to support you too, man.
Well, any credit that goes your way is, of course, well-deserved. And, seeing as you're here, I'm going to reveal it because it's going to pop you. This is going to pop you. So, little spoiler for those wondering who next week's drafter is going to be. Omega Luke.
Oh, man.
So he will be drafting with me next week. I don't know what the topic is yet. With the tweet hasn't gone out yet. It probably has at this point when you're listening to it, but at the point of recording, the tweet hasn't gone out yet, so we don't know what we're going to go with yet. But Omega Luke is the drafter, my draftee guest for episode 3. So I'm getting I nearly went unscripted there. It's a Guyconics double header.
That is fantastic. And if Luke, if I know Luke at all, it's going to be either young British talents between the ages of 18 and 22, or or tag teams. Those will probably be the two things that you might. Yeah, Omega Luke is an awesome dude, also from Plymouth. So you guys are doing something good over there. Maybe not football, but something good is going on.
I mean, between the three of us, I think we stay away from Plymouth. We're all United fans, so it's all good.
Mason fucking Greenwood, get in!
Oh, yeah, they're playing tonight, aren't they? This is time of recording, of course, but I'm pretty sure they're playing tonight.
So we're recording on Europa League night 1, and yes, we had a fun little match. So I guess you haven't seen it yet. So
I have not. I'm going to go down. And
Greenwood slotted in his first goal.
Yes.
So get in.
I like that. And he was bigged up by Solskjaer a couple of days ago as well, saying he's one of the finest finishers that he's seen in a while. That's
absolutely
high praise.
Tremendous. Yeah, he's
repaid him.
We'll get into a football chat next time. But it was a nice little slippery, slimy little technical goal. Absolutely lovely.
I wonder how many people have disappeared now. They're just like, oh, fucking, I'm talking about football. Let's just bail.
Especially that it's an American talking about football. I get that sometimes. Like, what is that? Baltimore Ravens? No, no, that's not football.
Just don't understand it. Just don't get it. Apart from you get it. I like that.
I get it.
That's why I like you.
Absolutely.
But Will, thank you very much for coming on. I am very, very grateful that, like I said, like I hold you in high regard because of everything that you've done. So I'm very grateful that you've come on here and drafted some stuff with little old dits.
Little hashtag dits has it.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you very much, man.
I am absolutely loving the competitive, the tactical, the strategic plays within Draft That so far. It's been a lot of fun, this series so far, and Wilf, of course, has just added to that massively. Great guy, great drafter, great episode. Had such a good time with him. It's an open invitation for Wilf to come back on in the future, so if you did enjoy today's episode, you will get a rematch at some point. And now it's up to you. I pass it over to you now. Who wins the draft? Is it the far more knowledgeable and in the time Wilf? Or is it little old Ditz, little old 9-year-old Ditz who barely lived through the Attitude Era? It's up to you who wins this thing. The poll is out on the promoted tweet for this episode, so go check that out. Of course, if you're listening to this, once that poll is out, make sure you check out episode 3 because the winner will be revealed on that episode. But that is it for today. Really good episode. I enjoyed the absolute hell out of it. Sneak peek into next week, though. I am joined by Will's co-host of the Guy Conics podcast, Omega Luke. I think I've already alluded to that during the episode at some point, but there you go. Omega Luke is joining me on the next episode of DOW Draft That, and I think at the time this drops, so when you're listening to this, the draft will have been decided by that point. And likelihood, it's between factions and stables. That was Omega Luke's pick. I went with women's wrestlers. And at the moment, at the time of recording, which is Sunday night, I think there's 14 hours left to go on the poll, and factions and stables are currently winning. So chances are that's what we're getting next week. So be on the lookout for that, because if it's factions and stables or if it's women's wrestlers, it's going to be a great draft. I'm looking forward to it. So that's next week. So go and check that out. But of course, you got that to look forward to. You've got some voting to do for this episode. It's all go. It's all go on the Dits on Wrestling podcast. And don't forget, the weekly episode comes out this week as well. So that drops on Thursday. But of course, you already know that. If you want to go check out that episode, make sure you are subscribed to the Dits on Wrestling podcast on Apple Podcasts. And while you're there, drop me a cheeky 5-star rating and a lovely little review. All means a lot to me. Also available on Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker as part of the SLTD podcast network, iHeartRadio, and any other random place that you listen to your podcast. I am there. YouTube, again, I always say this every single week, is something that will eventually become a thing. But at the moment, not so much. But that's where you can find me on Thursday and every week for DOW Draft That. But as always, thank you very much for listening. It's been a good show. It's been a very, very good show. And I'll see you on the next episode of DOW Draft That. Ciao for now.